Albuquerque firefighters hit the ground for a good cause. Who else they're challenging to do the same today? Coming up.
And bitter beer brings on a whole new meaning. What a local craft beer business is doing to express their distaste over the controversial ART project.
Also in court, attorneys for two former APD officers accused of murder want a key piece of video left out. What they're arguing a jury doesn't need to see, and how prosecutors are responding. Just ahead. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to KRQE News 13 this morning. I'm Adam Atchison.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Krista Gutierrez. Thanks so much for joining us on this Thursday, July 28th. We'll get to our stories in just a bit, but first we're talking weather.
Sure. Let's get right to Kristen Curry. She's got a look at today's temperatures. Morning.
Good morning. We'll start with the Doppler radar. Pretty quiet out there. Not a whole lot in the way of rain or storms, and our temperatures comfortable in those 50s, 60s, and 70s. 71 in Albuquerque, 69 in Alamogordo. We've got more of the 50s up across southern Colorado, so as far as the numbers go, we're fine to start. It's this afternoon when we start to get a little bit warmer, mid to upper 90s out across the Rio Grande Valley today, warmer than yesterday, and plenty of sunshine to go around this morning before the clouds get in around lunchtime. And we're talking a few storms out there, but fewer than what we've had to start this week. Drier air is really going to impact our rain chances today and again tomorrow, but better rain chances are coming, especially as we finish up the weekend and start next week. We have a lot to look forward to, so I will break down that entire 7-day forecast coming up here in about 15 minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Kristen. Now, you've likely seen it more than once, the deadly shooting of homeless camper James Boyd. And
today a judge will consider what part of the video a jury will see in the murder trial of the two and then APD officers who shot him. News 13's Catherine Mazzone is live at APD headquarters with more on that this morning. Catherine.
Good morning, Adam. You know, neither Sandy or Dominique Perez still work here at APD. That Sandy retired and Perez was fired, but they're still facing consequences for something they did as officers in 2014. They're facing murder charges now in the shooting death of homeless camper James Boyd. And today, a judge is set to hear arguments on how much of the lapel cam video that belonged to Perez a jury should be able to see. Now, you've probably seen it on TV, you can find it online, but you may not have seen the full version. Now, the defense wants to ensure the jury doesn't either. Attorneys for Sandy and Perez aim to show only the video up until shots were fired. They say what happened afterwards just isn't relevant in this second-degree murder trial. A search of Boyd's belongings turned up 2 Bibles and $9. Details the state may want to bring up in trial to help describe Boyd's situation. Lawyers worry it might evoke sympathy for Boyd, causing jurors to think with their heart instead of their minds. Now, of course, the special prosecutor disagrees. She says it speaks to the officer's state of mind. Back to you.
All right, Catherine, thank you. We are going to be inside the courtroom today. We'll bring you the very latest on what's decided on air and online.
Right now we take a live look outside of the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia. This morning, Hillary Clinton will formally accept her party's nomination for president later on tonight. Tonight will be her second appearance on stage during the convention. Last night, Hillary joined President Obama on the convention stage where he gave a speech supporting her, but also bashing Trump. Vice President Joe Biden and newly accepted VP candidate Tim Kaine added their voices to the Trump attack.
He has no clue about what makes America great. Actually, he has no clue, period.
You cannot believe one word that comes out of Donald Trump's mouth.
And tonight, Chelsea Clinton is expected to introduce her mother before accepting that historic nomination.
In just hours now, the hearing for the Albuquerque Rapid Transit bus line continues in a federal courtroom. Yesterday, opponents of ART argued their point, trying to convince a judge to put the project on hold. The group argues the city and feds did not properly study or consider the impacts of narrowing Central in sections to 1 lane of car traffic and 1 dedicated bus lane for ART. Today, the city will have its turn. They're going to argue the project was properly studied and the benefits of the new bus system outweigh the business concerns, and that putting the project on hold would do harm by delaying those benefits and increasing construction costs. And business owners are voicing their opinions over the ART proposal. One local brewery is giving customers a taste of how they feel about the controversial project. New this morning, News 13's Sarah Yingling joins us with the special beer being poured starting today. Sarah?
That's right, Adam. Cactus Brewing Company is just one of the many businesses that sit right along Central Avenue. To show their opposition to ART, the brewery has created what they call the worst sounding beer. It's called the ART Ale, and it's a pickle juice porter.
We thought we'd get involved, it's a terrible idea, so I thought I'd make a terrible beer inspired by this terrible idea.
The beer is being released today, just one day after a federal judge heard arguments from both sides of the issue. While Cactus Brewing Company isn't on the list of businesses set to sue the city over the project, they are huge supporters of the Save Route 66 organization. In fact, $1 from every ART ale sold will go to Save Route 66 to help the cost of the legal fees for lawsuits against ART. The brewery hopes this will spark conversation about ART and get the community involved in their fight. Cactus Brewing Company is hoping that this will inspire other local breweries to come up with their own bad beer. Adam?
All right, Sarah, thank you. For more information and a look at what the city's PR team has to say in response, you can check out the story online and on the KRQE News app today. A video live streamed on Facebook is raising questions this morning, with some people asking if a mother took disciplining her daughter too far. A warning, this video may be disturbing for some.
This dirty boy, he came a baby shit. Got your ass tweaking out on Facebook.
The video shows a mother in Georgia beating and cursing at her daughter over revealing pictures she supposedly posted on social media. Police eventually tracked that woman down and questioned the teen, who told them she does feel safe at home. For now, the mother will not be charged, but the police department says the case has been referred to the state's Child Welfare Department.
The Public Education Department continues its investigation this morning into APS board member Annalie Maestas. She's also now on administrative leave from a charter school she ran. Maestas was a no-show at last night's school board meeting for the second week in a row. Board members say they are not sure why. Maestas allegedly used school money for carpet cleaning at her home, then altered a receipt to look like the cleaning was done at La Promesa Charter School. The school's governing council voted to remove her as executive director. The PED is also investigating whether Maestas used tax dollars to clean her home.
School just around the corner now for APS students, but concerns for some people remain today over the district's transgender bathroom issue.
How can I get emails and voicemails from Rigo Chavez for fundraising and band activity support voicemails, but nothing concerning this issue?
It's parents and parents like me that really support this initiative.
Starting this year, students will be allowed to use a restroom or locker room based on the gender they identify with, not the gender they were born with. They may also use single-stall bathrooms for more privacy. Students would meet with school officials to declare their gender identity and fill out a confidential form like this, listing their facility of choice. APS says the board did not have to vote on the directive because it's not a policy, but a procedural directive following a mandate from the federal government.
A battle is brewing this morning between firefighters and the metro, but it's all for a good cause.
KRQE Fire Department's here to do the 22 for 22 challenge. 1 down, 2 down, 3 down.
The Albuquerque Fire Department took part in the 22 push-up challenge spreading on social media right now. It's meant to bring attention to PTSD and veteran suicides. Challengers do 22 push-ups each day for 22 days, representing the estimated 22 American veterans who commit suicide every single day. AFD got a little help from a drone to film their challenge. Then they passed that challenge on.
Bernalillo County Fire, we challenge you.
No word yet FBCFD has accepted that challenge, but I think they will.
Absolutely. Get down, hit the ground.
Maybe they could borrow their drone.
Maybe so. That was well shot, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Who is this? What are you doing?
Road rage caught on camera. Police on the hunt for the driver of a pickup truck that hit a couple's car again and again. We hear from the family who feared for their lives.
And back in court, a judge set to weigh in on evidence in the James Boyd shooting, what prosecutors and the defense are focusing on. Straight ahead.
Plus, we're live in Philadelphia this morning for the fourth and final day of the Democratic National Convention. This after a night of glowing reviews from Hillary Clinton's one-time rival, President Barack Obama.
We battled for a year and a half. Let me tell you, it was tough. Because Hillary was tough. I was worn out. She was doing everything I was doing, but just like Ginger Rogers, it was backwards in heels.
One last hurrah. President Obama gave his fourth and perhaps his final convention speech last night in Philadelphia. For Democrats, tonight is all about the next 4 years, and if they get their way, the next 8 years.
KRQE national correspondent Mark Meredith has covered the 2016 race for us from the start and is live in Philadelphia for us. Mark, tonight's speech is an event that really is years in the making.
Good morning, guys. Just sort of a round of applause.
Adam and Crystal, good morning to you. It is because you think back to where we were just a few years ago during that 2007-2008 primary campaign. What was interesting, Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama had that great divide. It was such a bitter race. You didn't sense that last night when you just played that clip from President Obama. It was all love in the arena last night in Philadelphia as he gave what, as you guys were talking about, could be his last speech at a DNC convention. We also had a chance to hear what he thought about his legacy moving forward and what Hillary Clinton will be able to do to offer a contrast to what Republicans are bringing to the ticket this November. President Obama talked about what he's learned about Hillary Clinton since she was the Secretary of State during his first term in office. She apparently even telling him at one point she was surprised that she was offered the job. Last night we also heard from Virginia Senator Tim Kaine. He's the man selected to be the running mate for Hillary Clinton this time around. He talked quite a bit about himself, his political background, his family, but also wanted to tell people that in terms of Democratic politics, it's time to come together, whether you be a Bernie Sanders supporter or someone who's been Hillary Clinton's side from the beginning.
We all should feel the burn, and we all should not want to get burned by the other guy.
This morning, though, it may have been Vice President Joe Biden that really stole the spotlight. He talked very personally and openly about his situation after the death of his son, what it was like to grieve while being the Vice President of the United States. He also talked a little bit about why he flirted with being president, but he also believes that it's only Hillary Clinton that'll be able to protect the middle-class values that he's come to embrace. You know, they call him Joe being Joe. He had plenty of his Bidenisms, if you will, this morning. And while we were there listening to him last night, a lot of the attention instead today will be focused on Hillary Clinton and what she's going to do to try to widen the gap in the polls. Because Adam and Crystal, when you look at the numbers right now, this is a close race.
And going off of that theme a little bit, we're seeing Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton neck and neck when it comes to the most recent polls. And it sounds like her campaign already has a pretty busy schedule once the convention wraps up tonight.
Adam, yeah, never a dull moment because this campaign, as soon as the lights come on here later on tonight and they start wiping up the confetti, the campaign will move down the street. There's an event in Philadelphia. Then tomorrow she heads to events in Ohio over the weekend. And then Donald Trump this morning, he's still campaigning as well. He's waking up in Iowa, and then he'll head to Colorado, a swing state not too far away from you guys in Albuquerque, as this campaign rolls on to the November election. Guys.
All right, Mark Meredith live in Philadelphia for us this morning. Thanks, Mark.
And remember, stay with KRQE News 13 for our campaign 2016 coverage. We'll have it for you here live and also on our website, krqe.com. Another big story this morning, of course, is that weather.
Sure is. Kristen Curry is watching what we could face on this Thursday morning. Good morning, Kristen.
Good morning. We'll start with the current temperatures, 50s and 60s up to the north, 70s here in Albuquerque. We've got more of those 70s out across the southeast. So temperatures comfy to start. It's this afternoon that we're going to have to watch those numbers because it is going to be warmer than where we were yesterday afternoon. Humidity values not quite as humid as where we were yesterday morning and the day before. You see even up across the northwest, humidity down to 38% in Farmington. Well, that's that drier air working itself around that high pressure, and that's really going to hurt our rain chances today, especially us here in the metro. A stray storm, if anything at all. We'll see a lot more sunshine than actual rain today. Temperatures getting back into the mid to upper 90s, but better rain chances coming, especially as we finish up the weekend and start next week. I think we're going to be looking at a soggy pattern here, but until then, temperatures going up. And when it comes to the overall setup here, I'm excited about that 7 day. So I'm going to show you that coming up here in just about 15 minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Kristen. Happening today, a judge will continue to hear arguments over the controversial ART project. It's the second day for groups looking to put a stop to the new bus line along Central. Fernanda Lopez live outside the federal courthouse with what we can expect today. Good morning, Fernanda.
Crystal, today is the city's turn to make their arguments for the $119 million ART project. This morning, the city will argue the project was properly studied and the benefits of the new bus system outweigh the business concerns. Now, the city says putting the project on hold would do irreparable harm because it would delay the benefits of the project along Route 66 and increase construction costs. With construction set to start in just a few days, groups against the ART are asking a federal judge for a preliminary injunction, saying the construction and project itself will permanently damage Central. We spoke with both sides outside the courtroom yesterday.
I am concerned because it's a major impact. Personally, for me, it's a cultural catastrophe.
Tomorrow we'll have the chance to put on our case, and I think have more of an opportunity to explain to the judge the detail that went into this process.
Opponents of the project also argued yesterday that the city and feds didn't properly study or consider the impacts of narrowing Central in certain sections to one lane of traffic and one bus lane. Business and property owners along Central also mentioned the negative effects of losing left lane turn access. Now, the hearing here at the federal courthouse is expected to get underway around 9 this morning. Yesterday's hearings lasted until about 7 in the evening, and we are expecting a judge to make a decision by today. Crystal, back to you.
All right, thanks for that update, Fernanda. The city is asking if there is a preliminary injunction issued. The plaintiffs suing them should have to pay up to compensate for any delays caused should they lose at trial.
Time now 6:36. Also happening today, a judge is expected to weigh in on whether a jury should see a piece of video in the murder trial of two former APD officers. Video of James Boyd's shooting death has been played over and over again on local news, national news, and online. But the defense does not want the jury to see what the video shows after the officers fired those deadly shots, saying it's not relevant, as the jury would decide whether the former officers, Keith Sandy and Dominique Perez, are guilty of second-degree murder. The special prosecutor disagrees, saying it speaks to the officer's state of mind. We are going to be inside the courtroom for today's motion hearing, and we'll bring you the very latest on KRQE News 13. You can also stay up to date on the KRQE News app.
New at 6, the independent monitor tasked with overseeing reform within APD is expected in court this morning. James Ginger is expected to present his third report on the department to a judge. Ginger filed the report earlier this month. In it, he said his team found the department is not doing a good enough job at holding officers accountable for use of force. However, APD Chief Gordon Eden says the report only covers data through March. That was before officers got new training and supervisors were retrained in use of force investigations. The next report is due out in September.
The city is now inviting the public to meet with Ginger this evening. That meeting is scheduled to get underway at 6 in the Special Collections Library downtown.
On to other news happening today. Vice President Joe Biden and Attorney General Loretta Lynch will speak at a public vigil honoring the 3 Baton Rouge police officers who were killed in the line of duty. The officers were ambushed by a former Marine more than a week ago. The gunman later killed by SWAT officers. Authorities say today's event will give the community a chance to celebrate the officers' service and their sacrifice.
Happening this morning, police are on the lookout for a driver that one couple says nearly caused a crash with their toddler in the back seat. That scene was caught on cell phone video in Alaska this week. The couple says they were heading home with a 2-year-old in the vehicle when a driver behind them started tailgating. They say after a while, the truck rammed into their SUV at least 3 times. The couple says they even tried to get away by driving through a car lot.
The first time he hit the brand new truck store at Ford and he backed up, I stopped because I thought he'd be done. But he hit him, put it in reverse, and started laughing.
Police say they could follow up with the couple as early as today. The couple says they just want to catch the driver in this situation.